The timing of this video is rather strange in that I am currently filming in summer. It is the month of August, but I am filming about the autumn version of my seasonal Disney shelf. This video is part of a series in which I'll be sharing with you the seasonal displays of my Disney shelf. I have dedicated one shelf to change with the given season or the given holiday at the time. The video prior to this is my spring shelf, and if you haven't seen that yet, I encourage you to, and I will leave a link to that in the description below. And this is going to be about the autumn/Halloween shelf. And you heard that right. We totally skipped summer. We went from spring straight to autumn, and that is not an accident for two reasons. One, I have built up like a log of videos that I will be posting for the rest of the month. By the time we get into September, I wouldn't have had the chance to film a backdrop that consists of a summer shelf. I actually did have one video that has that summer shelf backdrop, but I arranged my shelves, as in like the planks of my shelves, so the display ended up being a little lower below eye level, and it turned out to be not so clear in terms of like showing what I had on display. So that was a little bit unfortunate that I was not able to capture it in the shot. I was just kind of short on time, so I really had to just make do with what I had. And then at that point I realized I have to get right into the autumn/Halloween shelf so that that can be the backdrop for my September videos. So here we are. I will be sharing with you what I have on display for my autumn/Halloween shelf. A lot of the things that you will see on the shelf are from Japan. They are exclusive to Japan because I live here and that's how I get my Disney stuff. Most of the items that you will see have either been purchased from the Disney store or from Tokyo Disney Resort, and I will unfortunately not be able to share with you the retail price that I got them for originally, because that was just like many years ago for a few of them. But I will be sharing with you information such as what series are they from, what event are they from, what character they're representing, and hopefully that kind of information will be enough should you want to do research of your own. So with that, let's start the tour of my autumn/Halloween Disney display shelf. Alright, so we'll start from the left side of my shelf and we'll make our way toward the right side. So first up, what we have here is a stuffed toy from Tokyo Disneyland. It is from a Halloween event, more specifically the Spooky Boo, or the like Disneyland turned into a ghostly version of Disneyland kind of event. And this is one of the more recent events, and I went into great detail regarding the themes and the concepts, and especially the floats on the parade. So if you want to check that out, I'll leave a link to that in the description. One of the floats in the parade, I want to say that it has Donald and Daisy, so that is the like Mark Twain / Adventureland float. And if you can guess what character this is supposed to be, it is from an attraction, and the hint is this little bonnet right here and the little cape, and this is a swing. Do you think you know what it is? This is a pumpkin or a jack-o'-lantern version of Teddy Bara from the attraction Country Bear Jamboree. This is actually a pouch, not a stuffed toy, because she has a zipper at the back of her head. It's a really functional toy. It was so popular, sold out so quickly when she first came out. Disneyland doesn't really restock merchandise from previous events, so maybe we won't see her anymore, but I was so happy to get her. She is one of my favorite additions of the Halloween merchandise in general. It's so great to have her here, especially as part of my display shelf. And over here, right next to her on the right in the corner, all stuffed in there, is a Queen of Hearts Unibear. This is one of the first Unibear villains that came out when Unibear first started, and I only put her out for the Halloween event because I just have no space for her on my shelf. And right next to her is her keychain version, which doesn't have a costume. I just thought she looked so adorable. This is also one of the first Unibear keychain plushies that I got, so she is one of the first Unibears I got in general, and she is this lovely ruby candy red color. I just absolutely fell in love with the color and all the little hearts themes that she had going on her, like for example her nose and the two bows or the two parts of her ribbon that are heart-shaped. Both the keychain plush and the regular plush have heart-shaped paws, which you don't see in Unibears in general, and this is just such a nice pop of color among the rest of my stuff on this display shelf. She doesn't normally come with this costume, you have to buy it separately. So she would only come as it is, like in this color, nothing else, minus the bow. If you want to get her costume, you'd have to buy it separately. And what we have down here is this stinking adorable version of Chip. And I do have an accompanying Dale, which you will see very shortly. But before I do show you him, I just want to say that this, including Dale, is the only Chip and Dale merchandise that I have in my house. I am not a Chip and Dale fan, not at all. I have both Chip and Dale, and I can't have one without the other because that's how they usually come. I have personally never seen Chip or Dale depicted in this way, and that's how you know they're from Japan, because only Japan can make Chip and Dale look like that. You can't tell right away that they are Chip and Dale, but I fell in love with them right off the bat. They were crazy popular and they were quite hard to get a hold of, and it was kind of hard to find ones with really nice faces. A lot of the times their faces were kind of skewed or off portion, or there's something wrong with the stitching or the embroidery of the mouth. So I was really lucky to get one that looked just as good as that. And of course, look at Dale! I love Dale so much. I love his little teeth here sticking out right there, and the droopy eyelids. It's so like therapeutic. In general, I'm not a collector of Chip and Dale. I'm not really a big fan because I mean, they're not so nice to my fave. That's Donald, you know, and I would just rather have them off to the side. But when I saw Chip like this and Dale like that, I just could not resist. It was just a match made in heaven, and it appealed to my, oh, I can't help but buy you kind of side. Alright, so that's all for the Chip and Dale. Let's head over to my wall of Tsum Tsums, which have been specifically chosen to decorate my Halloween slash autumn wall display. So first up, what we have here are the, of course, Haunted Mansion Tsum Tsums. These are actually the very first Tsum Tsums that I purchased ever. So this was the gateway to the rabbit hole that was Tsum Tsums for me. They were also the first set of Tsum Tsums that I got, and they were from America. When I just saw them, I freaked out because Haunted Mansion is my favorite ride. I didn't have any Tsum Tsums at the time, but now that I had broken the seal of Tsum Tsums, I had to just, you know, kind of collect the rest of them. But that collection has significantly stopped or died down in recent years, and I'm quite happy to be able to control my obsession in that way. So there we have it, Haunted Mansion Tsum Tsums. And then right next to the Bride and Madame Leota, we have the Halloween Tsum Tsums from a Japan Disney store a couple years back. This one is Scrump. It's just, she's just hidden under her ghostly costume right there. And right at the other side of that is Stitch, and she also has a costume. He was from a circusy type of costume line that featured other characters as well. I don't think they were from the same series. I think Scrump is from a different merchandise release, so is Stitch, so I just can't recall right now. It's been quite a while. Next is not from a Halloween merchandise lineup. There was no event going on. There was no seasonal holiday happening at the time. They were just like, okay, and we're gonna make pirates of all these characters, and so here they are. They are in pirate costumes. It has nothing to do with Pirates of the Caribbean. These are all released in a Disney store. Fun fact, you cannot get Tsum Tsums at Tokyo Disney Resort. The only place you can get Tsum Tsums in Japan are from the Disney store. So, which is why I say they have nothing really to do with Pirates of the Caribbean. You will not find Tokyo Disney related Tsum Tsums at the Disney stores at all. I don't have Mickey because I thought he looked too similar to Minnie, so I specifically chose these four and only these four from the set because they looked quite unique from each other. And from the last row of Tsum Tsums, all the way at the top here, we have the pumpkin or jack-o'-lantern Tsum Tsums of Donald, Daisy. I also have Mickey and Minnie on the other side. And these are particularly cool because if you can see that they have Velcro straps underneath the Tsum Tsum bodies, they are actually reversible, so you can turn them inside out and they will reveal the base characters in their natural character design, and they have different expressions. And I wanted to leave them as they are. I just wanted to leave them as jack-o'-lantern or pumpkin versions of themselves because it's Halloween after all. But they do have like surprised or scared expressions when you turn them inside out. It's a really nice concept, and they were quite popular when they were released as well. And of course, who we have here in the middle is from the Haunted Mansion set. It is cast members that also has the cast member costumes that will guide you right into the Haunted Mansion attraction. Alright, so that's it for my wall of Tsums here. We also have another stack of Tsum Tsums right next to it, and it's just featuring 3 characters from the Nightmare Before Christmas. I was Nightmare Before Christmas obsessed for a while in my 20s, and then that too also faded away, and I was just more invested into keeping my mains like Donald and Beauty and the Beast. But they still do have a very special place in my heart. A lot of my collection started with Nightmare Before Christmas, and it's quite fortunate that Japan also loves Nightmare Before Christmas. They do dedicate a special merchandise lineup featuring Jack every year during Halloween or fall season, and it's the only time that you can really get merchandise of him. I do have the regular version of Jack here, but I couldn't find him, so I found this guy first, so I just decided to stick him right in there. And that's totally fine because I have Jack's original costume, but this is being worn by Whip, who is Donald's Unibear. It has his mask on top of his head in the form of a headband. This is also one of the first Unibear keychains that I got. Right underneath the Tsum Tsums, we have a Halloween Donald from 2012. This is from the Masquerade event in Tokyo Disney Sea. I thought the costumes were just brilliant. The concept and the event, not so much, but it was really cool to see a lot of the characters in masquerade forms. They wore costumes that had like a lot of embellishments on it, and it was in gold, and so they were quite shiny. And they also wore these masquerade masks. I actually have one of the masks from that year, like you can actually wear it and put it on, and it was just really cool, and it was like a really unique atmosphere in that sense. And that also featured skeletons. It was a very Victorian-esque type of event. It was kind of weird. If there were no skeletons, it didn't seem like Halloween. It was one of those random events. Not too bad, but not one of their best ones either. And what Donald is resting on, otherwise he would be falling off, this one is a mini one, obviously, because you can see that she has a dotted red bow on top of her head. There was actually a Mickey one that came prior to her release, but I missed out on the Mickey one and I could only get the mini one. And this one was also quite popular when she first was released, and it was hard to hunt her down. I leave a lot of my Tsum Tsums with their tags on, if in case I ever want to, sell them, if that day ever comes. But I keep a lot of the tags on just in case that day comes. Alright, heading over to the right side now. This here is Dale. Here's a closer look at him. Here's a close-up of his features in case you want to appreciate it more. I just love his face so much. If you didn't tell me that he was Dale, I wouldn't have known. I want to show you their ears as well. It's quite cute. They point inward towards the back. And they have a very round, rotund shape. I love their little paws. Look at that. Alright, so what we have here in the corner is another Unibear. It's a small Unibear, just like the Queen of Hearts Unibear we saw earlier. This time it is Maleficent, who I believe is like the villain, the ultimate villain of Disney. And she came after the Queen of Hearts. She was also one of the first villains to be released in the Unibear City line. There was another regular size version of her, so there was a bigger version of her when they re-released the Princess Unibear. So they introduced Aurora at that time, and so they obviously, of course, had to reintroduce Maleficent, but I thought that the smaller version of her was just fine, and I also decided to purchase the costume that came with her, or maybe she came with the costume, I honestly don't remember, but she also comes with these great set of ears, and this is like a hood, so you can actually remove it and you can see that she has ears right inside, and she's just this really beautiful light purple color, and the color of her eyes are also purple, and she has a single eyelash, and she's just such a beautifully made Unibear. Uni bears are my favorite merchandise lines of the Disney store. I can't say enough good things about them. Leaning up against Maleficent, we have another Donald from a Halloween event, and he is from the Villains World event. I thought it was like one of the best Halloween events I've ever been to, I've ever experienced. The Villains event only happened in Disney Sea, not in Disneyland, so it was Sea exclusive. That event went on for a while, a couple of years, because of just how popular it was. The more popular the event, the more that Tokyo Disney will continue to host it. So the Villains ran for a good number of years. I want to say at least 4 years, which is unheard of, very rare for an event to happen, especially for a Halloween event. And it was replaced by this witch/dark arts kind of event. I have no idea what it means, really. It was so weird. It was so random. It was just such a good event. I don't know why they decided to stop it. It was like they don't like money or something, but they need to bring it back. They need to continue the villains because it's just such a core part of the Halloween theme that is in, I mean, what other time can you make use of villains, you know? And if you're wondering what kind of villains were featured in that year, here is a postcard that I bought that captured the characters and the villains that they have a connection to. So each of the characters in the Sensational Six, including Chip and Dale and Clarice, were assigned a villain, and so they were together with that particular villain on their float for the live show. Mickey is Captain Hook, Donald is Hades, Daisy is Ursula, Minnie is the Evil Queen, Goofy is Jafar, Clarice right at the bottom down there is Maleficent, and Chip and Dale are Pain and Panic. So they rode with Donald on the Hades float. And these are the villains that were featured in that event. It was such a good event. They really seriously need to bring it back, in my opinion. And what Donald is sitting right on top, before I forget, is the Jack-o'-lantern Mickey. This is the reversible Mickey. I really love that he wears a little top hat, and he also has that Velcro bit underneath his body so you can turn him inside out. He is a reversible Zoom, just like Donald and Daisy. Minnie is not. She was not part of that collection. And I didn't want to get another jack-o'-lantern of Minnie because I was already perfectly fine with this version. And there you have it. This is my autumn/Halloween Disney display shelf. So that's my autumn/Halloween Disney display shelf. Wow, that's a mouthful. If you have any questions about anything, feel free to leave a comment below and I'll do my best to answer them. I'm definitely going to be changing it up for the winter/Christmas season, and I cannot wait because that is my favorite time of the year, and I hope you'll come back to check that out as well. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you'll consider subscribing and hitting that bell. Thanks so much for sharing your time with me, and I'll see you in the next video.